Hey everybody, this is Brad Bruce and I'm here with
Jace Marsiglia.
And you're listening to the 5195 podcast.
Yes, you are. And what a doozy we got for you today. This is going to be interesting.
Very interesting.
When you told me this idea, I was like, this is fucking genius. Because I can't think of anyone else who's tried something like we're about to do.
Yeah, on this level.
Not this level, yeah.
You know, because I mean, we're essentially unknowns.
Mm-hmm.
And when this was, I guess, done before, it was done by someone who could get it done.
Get it done, yes.
And now this is just the process of
breaking in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I suggested to Jace was, how about we, from concept to fleshing it out and having an entire film, and then write the script and put it out there.
But taking you guys along for the ride.
Right here, right now.
Like from ground zero.
Yep. And like you just said before we started, you put no thought into this.
Not at all. Nope. I mean, because every now and again, something would float through my head and I would just dash it.
Yeah, same.
Because I was just like, no, I want this to be as genuine as possible.
Yeah. So this could end up being a very long episode or
just
episodes. So
we've already resigned ourselves to the idea that there's going to be a lot of editing because of dead air.
Yeah.
While we think.
Yep.
So if it sounds like a 1940s, tit for tat dialogue thing, probably fucking not.
Yeah.
You're getting the fun version where there's just no what about this?
Mm-hmm.
You'll get all the fruit, none of the stem.
Yeah, this is interesting.
This will be fun.
It's very challenging.
It is. Well, we don't even know if it'll be challenging.
Right.
It's just a daunting idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's a climb. This is the warped wall.
It's super ambitious.
Very ambitious. So it'll get challenging when we get on a roll and then start hitting walls.
Yes, because we do.
Oh, yeah.
When you create.
No, nothing's just fluid.
Yeah.
Much less with two people collaborating. It might be a little easier because you have a second brain who's offering ideas.
Instantly.
Yeah.
But
the process of writing and getting things off the ground, it's very arduous.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I'm nervous, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, same. So, here we go.
Okay.
All right. So, I think the first thing we should tackle is genre.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's obviously our wheelhouse is horror and comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's old familiar.
It is. I kind of wondered if we should just scratch those off from the get and really challenge ourselves.
And just do something completely different.
Because horror and comedy, that feels like those are the ones that are always in the chamber. And
right.
I mean, I'm not saying not to.
Right. No.
But I was like, what if we really made something of this and was like, let's do something outside of our wheelhouse and see if we can make it ours.
Yeah. How do you really, really confidently feel about that? Is there reservations?
A little bit.
Because there is with me as well. Well, there is with me.
Of course. I just worry about horror. Because we're even not doing this, we're going to write horror.
Right.
And I feel like that's what's expected of us. And I almost don't want to take the road most traveled.
Okay.
Because it's what the audience already is like. Of course they're going to write a fucking horror movie.
Yeah.
But we like tons of other genres. We've talked about tons of other genres. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure we should dabble in the genres that we discussed in previous episodes that was like, I've not seen enough of it and I want to. Mm-hmm. Because now we're biting off more than we could chew. Because it's like, I'm not going to pretend like I know how to write an anime.
Right.
But yeah, something that we're familiar with.
Right.
That's not old hat.
Mm-hmm. Which is very, like, it brings a bunch of questions to mind.
It does.
And I'm not opposed to that at all. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe we should just, maybe kick around some right now,
Sure.
I mean, obviously we have, I'm going to write down drama.
Okay.
I don't know where thriller.
I've always considered a thriller a horror movie that's not paranormal.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's not quite horror, so I'm not opposed to putting thriller.
I mean, we can throw Western in there. I know you said,
I've seen enough that I could probably write one, but it's just one that I would like to watch more of.
Right.
I consider these two separate genres.
Okay.
And there's a part of me that's lured to either one.
Uh-huh.
Action films, adventure films.
Okay.
Now, when I say action, that could be Die Hard, Lethal Weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Adventure is more Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right.
Something a little more exotic and treasure-based.
Okay.
Because action and adventure, at least the ones we grew up on, they do have elements of Western. They have elements of romance, comedy.
Mm-hmm.
We're of the era of Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, Rambo,
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. We grew up with a lot of adventure
Right.
and a lot of action. And if I were to do an action movie, I think I would want something that's a bit of a throwback and, badass.
Okay, so my take on that action adventure, either or combined.
Uh-huh.
If I was to do that, I think I would nix the adventure.
Yeah.
And I would go action, Lethal Weapon.
Mm-hmm.
That style.
Okay.
It feels, not like home, but I mean, it definitely, I feel like I could do that.
Over the other.
Yeah.
Sure.
Over, because I'm not as well versed in the type of adventure like Raiders, Romancing the Stone, and I'll be honest with you, those are two pulls that I'm...
Another, I didn't even think of that. That's another adventure film that we grew up on.
Yeah.
Jewel of the Nile, stuff like that.
It's like, if I think action, I think I'm going to, with Last Boy Scout.
See, that's the thing. I almost put action and adventure in these brackets. City, jungle.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly where my mind is too.
Big buildings, nature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this one's got gangs and warfare. This one's got fucking snakes and booby traps.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're very separate in my opinion.
For sure.
But they both come with their accoutrement separate, and you have to play within those rules.
Right.
So I would be down to write an action script.
I'm leaning towards that.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, I'm going to cross drama off my list and thriller.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to cross Western off. I'm not feeling those as far as...
You're not feeling Western?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. Because... Now, okay, I'm not saying I'm not feeling a Western. I'm just like... Now, we could potentially...
It's not a matter of you being like, I'm getting into bed with Jason and he's not a Western guy.
No, not at all.
Okay. So I was going to say, I would do my best not to drag you down.
No, not at all. No, No, because I feel like on that same breath, I feel like I might drag you down on adventure. Because, prior to us seeing the last indie movie, the last adventure movie I saw would probably be Goonies.
Yeah. Or what? The previous Indiana Jones?
I mean, when it was new, like the Crystal Skull. Yeah, when it was new, so...
Not even, you didn't watch any of the pirate movies or...
And I've never seen any of the Pirates of the Caribbean.
What about like The Rundown with The Rock?
Never seen it.
Then And the thing is, adventure, high adventure, I feel like is almost like Westerns where you get a couple every few years.
Right.
I don't think adventure happens a lot anymore. That was more of an object of 60s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, so, okay, I'm going to say
we can cross adventure off.
Okay, well, how about instead of crossing adventure off, how about we just put it on the back burner?
All right.
As a potential elements to add.
Sure.
To the if we come up with a story or we come up with a genre that fits, maybe there is a way to.
I think of ones that bridge, like Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Where the adventure could take you from the streets of Venice, or London, or New York.
Yeah.
And you travel off to Tibet or something, and then there's, to me, those types of movies straddle the two because she could be swinging from vines in the jungle one minute and getting in a car chase in the city in the next. So,
and that's if we were
to go broad
and getting rid of the Western theme.
Sure.
Because here's where my mind is. So this is what's something that's like, it's kind of been stirring right now.
Anything out of the Old West isn't really Western.
Right. But see, this is what I'm thinking. Let's just, for brainstorming,
Yeah.
let's just say we do add Western.
Okay.
And then the elements of action.
Into a Western story?
Yeah. And then maybe this character does become a fish out of water and he's out of his element. And, I don't, research, and we'll do that right now. Like taking a boat, a ship, whatever it may be, to another country for whatever reason. Chasing something, looking for something, retrieving something.
We would have to come up with a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe our character could be, this is like a fish out of water thing.
Yeah.
Where this character, has to travel to another part of the world.
Where he's got no idea how they do things.
Right. And now he is faced with adventure themes. Mm-hmm. And he is very fish out of water.
Sure.
So that there could be moments of comedy in that.
Oh yeah, of course. It opens it up to that.
Yeah. But then I think, then we have to figure out, is this R-rated?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or is this like PG-13? Where it's like, is this a family movie? Or is this a guy movie?
Right.
Because if it's a guy movie, then it's a hard R.
Right.
If it's a hard R, we could potentially just keep it Western action.
Right.
If it's PG-13, it would be cool to do Western action adventure. Mm-hmm. And just marry the three.
Yeah.
I mean, like what are you feeling?
I feel like my only caveat is with Western, you're relegated to one scenic area.
Uh-huh.
So we would need a reason to bring the big city thing to the mountains or what have you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then figure out a reason to keep them there and generate action from what?
Right. Well, it was also, too, you got to remember, I think the Wild West was literally only like a span of like a decade in reality. Right. So therefore,
a modern day Western wouldn't be anything like.
No. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying a guy that's appropriately aged, maybe not too seasoned, but still sharp, that is stuck in a different era while commercialization and the industrial age is kicking in.
So you're thinking of a timepiece.
Yeah, and I think maybe him adjusting or not being able to adjust to the automobile. He still rides a horse.
Right.
He all these new laws and regulations that he's not used to being on the plane.
Right.
And so there's conflict with him and growth.
But you would also need whatever MacGuffin we come up with.
Uh-huh.
Someone from that modernization would need an old school hero to take care of this,
Yeah.
Because the other side would have to be like, maybe your time's not quite up. Mm-hmm. We need that kind of gumption, that kind of...
to fight whatever's...
Yeah.
Yeah. And it could be it could be an oil tycoon that's, basically just our real estate that just wants to develop and just monopolize and kill the old ways. Mm-hmm. And this guy is stuck in the old ways. He is the aging, to a degree, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
That's used to bounty hunting, taking the law into his own hands, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. And then this guy, the antagonist, he's old enough to understand where this guy's coming from, but greed is what's driving him. And he doesn't care about people. He cares about money.
And he'd have to have people under him who go after this guy.
Based on money. And that's the thing, is like being able to keep people feeding off of you.
Yeah.
That are willing to do shit for money.
Yeah.
Because taking care of a family or whatever it may be.
Right.
So he has his own forced loyal cronies that do his bidding for him.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, this could literally be, nope, scratch. We move on to something else.
Yeah, who knows?
Like if it flows and it makes sense, cool. You know?
You know what kind of popped in my head? Crocodile Dundee.
I mean...
Because he is going from old school Outback to the city, and it's that...
But I think that's...
The fuck is all this?
I think that's just more...
Fish out of water.
100% fish out of water. That's just... It's an easy way to get jokes. Because it's like, oh, he doesn't understand this.
Sure.
But then it's also, he's like, you know, super smart, survivalist. He's a fighter. You know, it's like, it's more comedic.
Sure, I can see that.
And then it's like, he's kind of like haphazardly thrown into this thing.
Sure.
You know, as to where this is, it's more raw and gritty. We're not really attacking it from a humorous standpoint.
No.
You know, this is more dark. This could be very spaghetti Western.
Yeah.
You know, this could be, even though it's not set in, you know, the 1800s, but I don't know if you've ever seen Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia.
Long time ago.
Very gritty.
Yeah.
Very dark. But, you know, being able to, you know, capture that, like tone, you know, and again, it's just based on spaghetti Westerns.
Yeah.
You know, that's all it is.
Which are simple plots.
Right. And that's what you want.
Yeah. We don't want to overcomplicate it with
Not at all.
too much exposition.
No.
Too complex of a reason.
Yeah. And we also don't want to do a ton of location jumping to where
No.
it's hard to follow.
Yeah.
We don't need a shitload of characters. We need the core, just the core group and then the surrounding.
Right.
And of course, the surrounding people are just for entertainment purposes of getting killed.
Sure.
You know?
Or protected.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's tricky. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm not saying it sounds easy. I'm just saying there's an element of fun there.
Yeah.
You know, that is, I like it. You know? Because I don't know if this story would fit as like in LA current day.
Right.
There's too many moving parts with that.
That, and I mean, I don't want to get stuck in a buddy cop.
And that's what it would turn into.
Right.
You know, that's exactly what it would turn into, and I don't want to do that. That's why it's like I do like the aspect of the simplicity of the story. Mm-hmm. So it's like if we have the simplicity of the story, then we can have the characters be complicated. Yeah. Complicated enough to where it's going to drive them.
What about this idea? Instead of oil, what if they, and this, it's an element of adventure again, but this guy's property happens to be within a place rumored to have gold in the mines. And he's not willing to move. He's not willing to budge. And it's like, now he's got bad guys who are building. I mean, you could put a pretty good action set piece in a mine with scaffoldings and all this stuff. And it's almost Ernest Goes to Camp. You know, we need you off this property. I'm not budging. My family's been here for God knows how long.
Yeah.
And now it's a battle of, like you said, old versus new.
Yeah.
These guys are bringing in all the stuff to basically disrupt his entire livelihood.
I like where you're going with this.
Yeah.
So essentially then now we literally have two key locations.
Okay.
We have downtown, which is growing and booming.
Sure.
And then we have his land.
Which is more mountain.
Right.
Plains.
Old ways.
Old ways.
Okay, so how about we do this then? What do you think about this? Because it seems like the land might be the MacGuffin.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so how about this? And now this is gonna bring up other questions to fix the problem because I am making it to where there's a problem that needs to be answered.
We need it.
Okay. What about this guy who, the real estate guy?
Okay,
or
so
whoever he is, like the gold guy?
Our tycoon?
Yeah, let's just say tycoon. Okay, let's just call him the tycoon. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say he's got ulterior motives, as most of them do. Mm-hmm. And he's using development as the backdrop of his underhanded plans. And let's say maybe this guy that owns the land, he knew that there was gold on the land.
Sure.
And let's say he has a map, he has something detailing where it's at for one day his son to find.
Right. If you're ever in a pinch.
Yeah, but let's just say his dad maybe somehow worked with this guy, or worked for him, or there was some connection to where this guy knows that this gold is there. And so he's saying, hey, we want to buy you out so we can continue the growth of our town.
Mm-hmm.
And just be prosperous and you know, families moving and make it a spot like, you know.
We'll pay you handsomely so you can have your own house and all this.
Your working days are over.
Yeah.
And it would be literally a fraction of what the land is actually worth because of the amount of gold that is on this property.
That I'm assuming only 2 people know about.
Right. And maybe one's dead, and then this tycoon knows.
Well, I was even thinking, like you said, the hero.
Yeah. Well, no, I think that's something he should stumble upon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, so he don't even know because his father hid it in the house, in the property, in the barn, somewhere, something. Yeah. He finds it after let's say he's almost convinced because the land isn't producing to keep his family afloat.
Right.
So his back is against the wall where he's like, maybe I should sell to support my family, to take care of my family.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to be able to retire and, you know, but we'll be comfortable, you know, and then maybe something happens to where he finds this, but he's already given like a verbal agreement that, yeah, I think I want to do this with him. And then that could incite when he reneges on the deal.
Yeah.
You know, and then it could get bad.
What if his dad had given him explicit instructions? If your account ever gets to this point, or if you're ever against the wall, go to this bank lockbox and it'll be okay. And he thinks maybe dad threw some money aside for me, and instead it's plat maps and, you know, stuff like that where he's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You know.
And now
this was dad's break glass in case of emergency thing.
Yeah.
And that's how he finds out, you know. I don't know.
I do like that.
Because, I mean, shy of him, you know, doing something in the fields and falling into a shaft.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know.
No, it can't be that haphazard.
If it's something that dad knew.
Because then it is an earnest movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know.
But no, you're right. Dad, exactly. Because maybe at the time, you know, if that's something that we got to address too, is that maybe at the time when his dad was running this ranch, farm, the land, maybe it was extremely prosperous. You know, for that specific reason, is his dad knew the gold was there.
Or even his dad kept it a secret from everybody.
Yeah. So it was like they were living off the land enough to where they didn't need to touch it.
Right.
And this was a way to keep the ranch and the family for generations to where it would never be sold and developed, and the family would always have a home.
And you would never want for anything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that.
Yeah.
I do like that a lot. You know, it's a nice ace in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with Dad's plan.
Yeah.
You know, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
I think we have to make the tycoon nasty.
Oh, he's got to be a dick.
I mean, nasty. Like just kind, likable face. You want him to be good, but he is just a evil, dirty human being.
Yeah.
You know, I think that would be good as far as, because we know who he is.
Yeah, we do.
You know, we know exactly who he is.
And he'll eventually, and that's what starts the conflict, you know. Mm-hmm.
That's a very interesting plot that is developing.
Okay.
And this is lending itself to hard R.
It could.
Yeah. See, now this is a moment of a bit of a wall.
Yeah.
Of just fleshing this story now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Is it because this guy is not going to be able to fight this guy alone?
No.
Okay. So the son, we'll just call him Son right now.
Okay.
Just so we know who he is. All right. Is the son going to either recruit or have people that are willing to stand beside him?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because that's interesting.
Yeah.
If he's having to recruit, it opens up different doorways of the tycoon maybe sending people to infiltrate. You know, but it's like, I don't want to overcomplicate the story, but you always want to have, it is cool to have some sort of a double cross.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's just a possibility. It's just something, it's just, you know, I'm going to write it down just in case, you know, just in case if we, because I mean, obviously he's going to have people working the land with him.
Yeah.
You know, and like, do we make him family? Is it brother and like brother-in-law and nephews? That's tight-knit.
But everyone's hard-nosed enough that they can fight.
Of course.
They can shoot. They can whatever.
Yeah, they definitely can handle their own.
Because I can even see whatever it is that they're farming, growing, whatever. They have a store in the city.
Uh-huh.
And tycoon guys can come in almost like mafia and be like breaking shit. And, you know, you really want to think about who you're messing with and blah, 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 and make the threat very known.
Right.
And those are the little things that'll get the audience pissed off with our guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, all right, we're going to war.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to have that real middle of the movie over the top moment. That's just where all hell breaks loose. You know, and I think having the store and having maybe one of the brothers' wives and girlfriends or kids or someone get killed, you know, to really set it off, because we got to have that impact, you know.
Well, I feel like the gradual growth would be threats ignored. Or you got that scene where he climbs the tower, goes straight to the guy. Hey, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, if you're not willing to play ball, and it's like, all right, gauntlet's thrown, and then someone gets killed, and it's like, all right, now we're going to fuck each other up. This is going to be bad. Because, I almost feel like you said, if the tycoon is friendly enough, quote unquote, and he trusted him, I feel like it would make sense for him to go to him like as an appeal. Hey, man, I thought we were on the level here. I thought this was, and that's when he finds out, oh, this is what I'm dealing with. That's who you are. Okay. And he responds in kind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
there's got to be that reveal of some point where he's like, oh, that's the guy I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Yeah, because I don't think the tycoon needs to be a, you know, mustache twisting, cigar chomping villain right out the gate.
No.
I want the kindness to be like, oh, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And then the pivot comes and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
And you see the absolute evil that this guy possesses.
Right.
And
I mean, I could even think of when he goes to face the guy for the first time, starts learning, maybe this dude isn't what I thought. The guy starts saying things like, you know, you wouldn't want little Susie on her way home from school to get picked up by the wrong person or whatever. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you threatening my kids or whatever?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the moment where he's just like, all bets are off now, man. We're going to war. You know, it would have to be a moment like that where he said he's nasty.
Right, right.
Where the threat isn't just, I'm going to knock the fucking cabbage off of your shelf. It's, oh, well, you didn't respond to that?
Yeah.
What if I put someone you love in mortal danger? And I'm rich enough that no one would ever fucking care.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's the type of villain you want to see fucking justice doled out to.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? I think that gets the audience directly on the guy's side.
It definitely does. Okay. So let's see here. Because I do like that. Mm-hmm. Do we give a... Because I think there has to be some sort of a ramp up as well. I think just a cold pivot, like right out the gate. I would like the audience to like him, to make to where the son feels like he needs to sell it, you know? So it's like maybe their first couple of encounters, it is sort of pleasant.
Well, that's what I mean.
Where it's showing his character.
That would be where Dad's break glass in case of emergency comes in, where he's like, yeah, I got to do this for my family. And then somehow, whatever he finds in the house, oh, Dad wanted me to open this in case I ever got in this pickle.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, yeah, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't consider it for the betterment of his family or whatever he's got. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
But like you said, he would need a good excuse to renege on a verbal agreement. And I feel like Dad's secret that he's been sitting on, even from the grave, that's a good enough reason for him to be like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I need this land, and I'm keeping this land, and whatever.
I'm totally on board with all that. I do like that.
Okay.
I think there needs to be more risk, though.
Well, I was even thinking by this point, since this is all set up, and we've gotten our conflict and we've gotten our confrontation,
yeah,
this would be the point to start creating set pieces, action scenes.
Yeah.
And then wrapping the plot around those. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think creatively I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Because I still feel like there's a couple of minor details that need to be fleshed for me.
Sure.
To want to feel comfortable to move forward. I'm liking everything that's going on. Maybe I'm not understanding it properly, but it's like with this guy saying, you know, we want to buy your land. You know, we want to give you this much money. Then he's going to go and like, okay, I'm going to go to see what's in the bank.
Yeah.
It seems too easy to just pivot that fast from, we want to buy your land. Okay, no, now I better go see what's in this box.
What if the dad had an agreement with the bank that after funds reached a certain point, something was mailed to him, and he even tosses it aside for a couple of days, ignores it. It's just bank shit.
Right.
And then that's how he finds out. Not so much, because it's too contrived and too stupid for him to just start rooting around the house and being like, what is this?
Oh, no, I'm past that. I'm totally up for Dad having an ace in the hole.
Right. But I just want that to be more organic.
Yeah, and the thing is like, maybe it's one of those things that...
Well, what if he doesn't agree right away and it's more of like could you give me the weekend to think about it?
Yeah.
And the guy's like, sure. You know, it's Potter and George Bailey.
Right.
Can I go home and talk to the wife? Sure.
Right.
In the meantime, I'll draw up the papers.
Right.
And it's like, nothing's been signed, and it's not a quick turnaround. But you've given him the couple of days to think about it because he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Of course. It's a big decision, you know, and that goes a long way to what you were saying. We should see how big of a snake in the grass this guy is because he's very smooth.
Okay, so what if we do this? Keeping with that theme, what if before it this could be almost an inciting incident to get us into the second act. Let's just say the guy he's all just smiles and, you know, glad handing, and this guy, the son, is struggling so much with the land, but he doesn't want to give it up because he knows how much it meant to his father.
Right, it's sentimental, whatever.
Yeah, and this dad's plan. Let's just say this guy is like 45 years old. Okay?
Yeah, well, he's got to be able-bodied enough to do the physicality of what.
Right. So, and I'm just throwing 45 out there just because it's like it just popped in my head. But
yeah, whatever.
Let's just say this was told to him and his brother, who could be older than him.
Okay.
All right, when they were boys. when they were 8, 9, or 8 and
Oh, you mean
10.
that the place has gold?
Yeah. No, not even that. Just if something ever happens, I need you to go to the bank.
Gotcha. Okay.
And look.
Yeah.
That's it. And maybe this guy, it sort of goes out of his mind.
Sure.
So it's not even like present. And he's just thinking, wow, this guy's coming in and he's, flashing this big fancy life at me. Maybe I should get rid of the farm.
Yeah.
And maybe he's like going to, send telegrams to his brother who lives across fucking county, town, whatever. I need you to come in. There's big things happening.
Yeah.
Then this, let's say the son sets up a meeting and he's like, I think we're going to go ahead and do this. I think we have to, backs against the wall. People need to eat. I don't want to get rid of this, but I think we're going to have to for the greater good of the family.
Right.
And he's like, great, I'll go drop the paperwork and I'll be back Monday.
Yeah.
Cut to brother riding into town, getting filled in on everything that's going on. And he's like, you can't get rid of this place.
Yeah.
You can't. He's the voice of reason. And he's like, what other choice do we have?
Yeah.
We have no other choice. He's offering us all a fair price on the acreage. And he's like, no, we can't. And then, maybe it's that night or whatever. And there's whenever it happens, it hits the brother. What about Dad's plan? Dad's plan. Remember when we were kids?
Yeah.
And then a flood of memories. Oh my God, I forgot about that. But what if it's just money? Like, what if it's just a little bit of money? Who knows? We still should go.
Right.
And so they just, okay, yeah, it's there.
We're in the situation Dad didn't want us to be in.
So, okay. So they go to the bank. They get the safe deposit box. They open it up. And that's it. Maybe that's the MacGuffin, the safe deposit box, you know?
Yeah.
And they open it up and they see it and, oh my God, it's completely rich with gold.
Yeah.
The land.
It's ridiculous.
It's worth 100, 2, 3, whatever times more than what they're offering us.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because the guy would lowball them.
Of course. And now the tycoon knows this because he, for whatever reason, we'll get to, if we like this.
Yeah.
He already knows, and that he's underhanding because he wants the land for the gold, obviously.
Even though it's a generous offer to a country bumpkin.
Right. We're just developing and we're growth. It's all growth. You're a part of growth.
Yep.
You're a part of the growth.
Yep.
And they're almost like, we're saved.
Yeah.
And then Monday morning rolls around, they show back up with the paperwork, and they're just like, changed our mind.
Yeah.
You can't. Well, yeah, I didn't sign anything. I can. It's still my land.
Yeah.
You sure you want to do this? Yeah, it's our land. We're okay. Sure. And
right.
Then his pivot. And that's when maybe we can come up with something, just a few things happening. Like you said, I do like the idea of them having a store in town.
Yeah.
Because then if they have the women working it, the victim part.
Yeah.
Having this thrown at you, it's like, oh, so now it's like we have to assemble. And it's almost like standoff kind of a thing. Or that's another thing we'll have to figure out is it, they're going to town and then they're coming back there and they're like kind of going back and forth until a final showdown.
Right.
Which is tricky in of itself because you don't want it to be where it's just, oh yeah, okay, I see. There's a big shootout and he's dead and
yeah, that's
hooray.
It's too basic.
Like, I definitely wanted to, have consequence, and real loss, risk.
Not just that, but I want it to be exciting,
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of where my mind is going, and it's not too deep as far as...
No, it's still a pretty basic Western plot.
It is. 100%.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, too, is like, well, you don't want to change Western.
No.
We're not making Briscoe County.
Yeah.
So it's like, I do like where all of this is going. I really do. Yeah. It's pretty, man. Your writing is so clean and perfect, and mine is just nonsense written all over the page. Okay, so what are you thinking? What's on your mind?
I feel like we're at the point where the action should start building.
Yeah, agreed.
Because I think we need at least 3 big set pieces.
Okay.
And then a finale set piece.
Okay.
But it's coming up with what to do.
Right.
You know.
Right. So would you say, as far as what we have right now, you think we're pretty good into like the middle of the second act? Where it's that what is that, the midpoint? The plot twist?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great foundation.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect for that. Now we have our conflict, we have our villains, we have our heroes. Now we fight.
Mm-hmm.
But like you, I don't want a movie comprised of shootouts.
No.
It's just dumb.
No, we're not making Gunsmoke.
No, and it's not Heat. You know, it's not that deep.
Right. Right.
But there's got to be at least one chase of some sort. Again, if there's mines, which this isn't the first mine that he would want to create. Mm-hmm. There's got to be other ones.
Right.
I could almost see our hero wanting to sabotage even his current situations. You know what I mean? And to me, when I think of mines, I think of high up ramps.
Yeah.
You know.
I like that.
You know, I don't want to say, I'm not saying wrecking ball, just high girders and ladders and, you know, a deep pit of rock that's just, it's very chaotic. There's a lot of room for action in a scenario like that. Mm-hmm. 'Cause that could be its own set piece.
Right.
Probably closer to the end.
Yeah. I do like that.
Yeah. Because we could even go online and look up, you know, mine construction and all this shit and just be like, you know, looking at a picture, you could be like, that would be cool if this happened or that happened. Or,
right.
You know what I mean? And build an action scene off of the structure. Mm-hmm. Use the structure to our advantage.
Mm-hmm. Super cool idea.
Yeah. But I think it's a cool enough idea that it should be one of the later set pieces. Because I don't want to shoot our wad either.
No, not at all.
So I feel like the first thing organically feels like a chase.
Okay.
Of some sort.
Okay.
Whether they are chasing them out of the city after a square off in the building, or, you know, I even thought, it crossed my mind for half a second, if somebody lit fire or blew up the store.
Yeah.
And he happens to see one of them and just takes off after him. Foot chase, car chase, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's after they did something fucking terrible. And I'm not even talking about, we don't have to be so dark that we kill the guy's family, but they're destroying his livelihood. And someone could have been in there. So you're fucked. I'm coming after you. You know what I mean?
I think something we got to address is year.
To be honest, this could take place today. Something like this stuff still happens.
I mean, it does, but I...
Because from a marketing standpoint, don't people kind of shy away from period pieces?
No.
No?
I can tell you how many different times I've seen where Westerns are wanted.
1800s.
They're wanted right now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they're wanted,
okay.
and they're willing to pay.
Okay.
You know, and I think this is more unique in a sense of, yeah, they make Westerns, but you know what? I feel some of the Westerns that are out are just not strong.
No.
You know, the story's not strong. They have these, you can tell a lot of the production companies that are making it, they have money, you know, and they're getting good people involved.
Yeah.
But the story is just very weak. It's not strong.
I think we've got a strong story.
Yeah.
We just have to play with our scenery, time.
Right.
Because if we did an 1800s thing, what would be considered big city?
Well, let me look right now because
if he lives so far out, isolated, the usual high noon town could be where the bad guy lives. You know what I mean?
Right.
He lives in a busy strip.
Yeah, you're right,
And even that shit can get crazy.
Right.
That's old school Western shit where there's people up on rooftops and balconies and, maybe they threaten him to the point where he has to steal a horse and get the fuck out, you know.
So here's a city in New York in the 1800s.
Okay,
so I can say, there are big buildings, there's, stores, there's horse and buggies, there's all kinds of shit going on.
Yeah.
Trolleys, all this shit. So this is the growth of
that's progress.
The country. So it could be the guys from, developing here and then now wants to go back to this town and make it look like this.
Yeah.
He's starting, he's going out west. He's bringing his ideas because he knows when they were younger, that's always been sort of his ace in the hole is that he can go back and get that land too. Because he's not so much about developing as he is greed, I think.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
And underhanded, nasty. So him coming back to the town, it could almost be an under construction thing. You know what I mean? That's going on where you have the basic Gunsmoke, Dodge City, saloons, and all the shit that's that's there. But then you see in the distance there's big buildings being built. 3-story, 4-story, all stone, and it's going to be a store, a department store, just like in New York City.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's bringing this gift of promise of growth to the townspeople. So they're hoisting him up over their shoulders because
they love him out
they're going to benefit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also, he's got ulterior motives. He wants to build all this because it's money, but then getting that land because he knows that gold is on there.
Yeah.
And this guy is like, I just want to operate my farm, raise my family, and pass it on to them, and generation after generation do the same thing. Is
his store in that little town?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That'd be good.
And they're also pillars of the community as well.
Yeah.
It's like it's a founding family of the town as well.
Everyone knows the Thompsons.
Right. Right.
It really is George Bailey and Potter.
It is. There's a lot of elements here.
In its own way.
Yeah. There is a lot of elements here.
Mm-hmm. And the people who have been screwed by this guy could be part of that recruitment.
Right.
I've never had the means to take on this guy, but let's do it. I'm with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's people that turncoat him.
Sure.
They show up hat in hand like, hey.
Oh, fuck. Michael Rooker in Tombstone.
Yeah, exactly.
They went after your women. That's not me.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
I'm throwing the sash. Yeah. It's that. Yeah, it could very easily turn the tide.
So maybe that is the chase. Maybe after we're getting to that midpoint, where after he says, no, I changed my mind. And then he's like, you sure you want to do this?
Which I feel like should happen in town in the office.
Of course.
I came to see you and appeal to your better nature.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's getting surrounded. And it's like, oh, fuck, how do I get out of this? And I think I can already come up with an action scene right off of that.
I think you should do that. But I think the chase should be more impactful.
Okay.
Now, what I mean by that is, let's say there is that fight scene there. All right. And they go home licking their wounds.
Yeah.
Still not really thinking like our women are still in that town.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So let's say for now, there's 2 women and they're working the store. All right.
Okay.
So Tycoon sends a few of his goons in there. And he does the classic, we're talking creep show 2.
Oh, yeah.
They walk in there and start fucking with him, tormenting, and it ramps up.
Knocking shit over.
Yeah, starts terrorizing them.
You know what I kind of like? Just before the thought leaves me. I don't want the women in this to be pushovers. I think it would be cool if they're hard asses too.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Well, yeah, they're products of these men as well.
What do you call it? Bad girls.
Yeah.
With Stowe in them. This family does not roll over.
Right. And I think that's what would get them in a chase. Because they can give it back to these guys. Mm-hmm. And maybe, there's a fight between these guys and these girls.
That'd be cool.
Then the girls fucking hightail it. We're going to go inform our men.
Yep.
And then there's the chase. And maybe one of the girls gets either shot or taken. So only one of them, a little battered, a little bruised,
returns home.
They've got
so-and-so.
Yeah.
Wilma, they took Betty.
Okay, well, now their names are Wilma and Betty.
That's too funny.
And then there even could be a little bit of like the son telling the brother, see, we should have just fucking sold.
Oh, yeah.
Now look what's happening,
Yeah.
And he's like, no, that's not who we are, man.
Well, that's the dissent in the ranks. That's Wyatt Earp and his brothers. Like, I did not want to fucking get involved. And he's like, well, this town needs law.
Yep. And maybe it shows the son putting down the pitchfork and picking up his gun belt.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to town. And they got to go get her.
Yep.
And when they roll into town, stores burning, destroyed, gone.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's an easy visual.
Yeah. And then maybe they get to the tycoon spot and there's nothing but a note. Mm-hmm. There's nothing but something there like, time to play ball, dude.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things where the town is in this tycoon stronghold to where this family that was a member of it, pillars of the community are now sort of shunned. So they're riding down Main Street with people kind of looking out their window at them, people that used to be their friends and neighbors, and now they've turned their backs on them because they're all afraid of this guy.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe have to go back home and regroup. I don't know, something along those lines,
Yeah.
And figure out how to get her back. And there's got to be some sort of showdown. And maybe the mine is, and also, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but getting back to your action scene is like if there is a mine on the property, maybe it's always been hidden, and the map shows them where the mine is, This guy wants to go back to the mine. Obviously, he wants to go to the mine, So maybe that's one of those, I don't know. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts right now.
There's a lot we can play with.
Yeah, there is a lot. So, I think we have some pretty good headway.
A lot.
I
think we're half. We've got half of a movie.
Yeah, I think so. Now it's just tightening up.
And resolution.
Yeah, I think it is. So, well, we can come back next week.
See where we go.
And see where we go.
Sounds good.
Well, hopefully you guys weren't too bored and you didn't turn it off and go, what the fuck are you guys doing?
No, but if you're ever interested in the process of collaboration, this is what it could be.
You just witnessed it.
Yep. Now you can stop, collaborate,
and listen.
What do you think of that?
I think that was pure poetry.
I think so too. I think Thomas Edison said it.
Did he really?
I think so.
I thought it was Tommy Boy.
Oh, it could have been. Or Herbie Hancock. One of the two. Or
research.
Three. Yeah. Oh, gosh. I don't need to do that.
So now we have to clear our minds until next week. No more development. The story doesn't exist.
No. Yeah, we're done. This is. We come back to it and see if it still feels right, for one. Mm-hmm. Because we could read this and be like,
yikes.
Stupid. Or if we come back and it's good, we're like, all right, let's go. Part 2.
Yeah.
Fucking wrap this baby up.
Hell yeah. Until next time.
See you guys.